Yes, I think you can also. Oh, the recording is started.
Okay, good. Yeah, Dr. Chadda can send the link then.
Can you see my slide now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So here are the quality which let's see. The first quality which is required in a great counselor are the communication skills. Okay, and we will discuss these. It's not all. The second quality, non-judgmental. This is very, very important quality, which is required to be there in a great counselor. Means not to make any preconceived judgment about your client. Many times what we do, we make a judgment, we presume, and then start building our session on that presumption. Presumption should not be done. So don't try to evaluate your client at all over there. And in case you evaluate yourself, then don't share that evaluation with him. Keep it for your future verification and reworking on that judgment at your level. And the third, empathy is a very important quality. And some of you, a couple of you have also mentioned empathy is a required quality over there in a counselor. Genuine interest. So the genuine interest should be reflected through your interaction with your client. He can see the genuine how to be done it, and subsequently will come. Don't worry. Self-reflection, self-awareness. That's on the part of the counselor. Knowing, not only knowing what you are asking him, but after putting question to yourself, who am I? Doing self-reflection on your what you have done it with the client. There are points where you have gone very well, progress, but there must be point at times where you have not admitted. Admit dynamics with the client, admit with yourself. That is, self-reflect on your approach and try to understand those elements which you cannot, so that you can, in your next session, subsequent session, or with the subsequent client, you may not commit that kind of mistakes which were made earlier. 6, problem-solving skills. When I'm saying problem-solving skills, I'm not saying that you should provide the answer to your client. No, you're not supposed to provide the answer to the client. Let the client identify the right answer. You're helping him by giving various kind of permutation combinations. Okay, so that ability is required in a great counselor to provide different options. And every time I tell to my counselor, I tell, you are not doctor, so don't prescribe. Don't be prescriptive in your approach. Prescriptive in your approach, having a danger. If they're weak client, there will be definitely many clients who will be weak, mostly dependent on the counselor. And if you prescribe them and it don't work, then they have they're not uncomfortable with that. It's not working. They have then the opportunity to come and say to you, sir, ma'am, you told me this thing. I did. See, it never worked. Okay. So you are not prescriptive in your approach in that case. Rapport building, very essential. How to do it? I will come with that. Where the client feels that I need to spend time. I need to talk with my counselor again. It was so comfortable living for me too, because that kind of rapport you have to develop with your client. Flexibility. This is many of the counselors, my own experience also shows me, even my trained counselor who are even doctorate in psychology or doing that, I find them at times they are not flexible. They are very rigid in their approach. And this you need to break. Many times you will see that you plan a session for the client. It don't work. Say for example, you planned a session half an hour with the client, but something happened with him before joining the session, or maybe 1 hour before, maybe 1 day before, something which is disturbing him, which was not part of your planning. And the client start crying, start showing aggression. You can't say, stop it. Here's the plan. Please go by this plan. Then you have to, that, some of you must, you know it. That's a very important requirement of a teacher also. We say teacher should know what is the need of that time of your student, not only the lesson, the content of the lesson to be taught one by one. It's the other person is not a machine. You're not dealing with the machine. You're dealing with the human beings. And in psychology, we call human beings are much softer than the plain glasses. If it's a plain glass, suppose I'm holding a glass in my hand. If I throw it, or by mistake it slipped from my hand, it fall on the floor and broke. And when this glass is broken, or window pane, if I hit with a stone and it got broken, window pane got broken or crack over there, I can see, anyone there can see it. But if on my one statement or the two statement, conscious or unconscious, if I have disturbed by client, the human being, and for example, you are a boss, and you have a subordinate or a KG boss, and there's a subordinate, the young girl is working on what statement of his, which was nothing intentional, she got hurt or he got hurt. Rakesh may not be knowing it for days together, months together, years together, and he or she might be keeping that inside, that pain. To revenge back or lower her ability to function further, because you don't know what happens, nobody will be knowing it. But breaking a glass on a window or a glass, just like example, everyone will come to know, okay, you will replace it. You will get a person who will replace the glass windows, have another, but how to replace it? So flexibility in your approach is very, very essential. Multicultural competencies is another component, which is because the world is becoming global now. And the people from different culture, different settings are there. So their culture multicultural competency, requirement of the culture norm, child rearing practices are different. The child rearing practices, they used to be there 50 years back. The way me or Keshi has been reared by our parents, and today the way our own children are rearing their own children, that's much different, Practices are not the same. So we should know what are the changes are coming from different culture perspective, from which background, culture setting the person, the client is coming. The client is coming from a cosmopolitan city like Delhi, or coming from a city like Kanpur, or coming from a Sambalpur or some other. It's a different, So the requirement, the culture settings of that is very, very important to understand for the counselor. And the last, which is also very, very important point, is the sense of humor. That sense of humor should be reflected from your face.
Very right.
Your body should reflect it, not showing a very straight face. Okay. And if you show a straight face, the information we are trying to get will be taken as you are interrogating You're not an interrogating officer. Clear? So these are the competencies globally recognized, which every good counselor, maybe a career coach, maybe emotional counselor, maybe clinical counselor, every counselor should have. The main crux, there can be sub-competencies list and you can increase it. No, think over it for a moment. Be honest to the self, we are not trying to show to someone else. We are working for self, growth, so that we can take up the assignment as and when in Wellness Mandala or any place we can take up the assignment to be effective counselor. How many quality of the 10 quality, be honest with yourself, you think you have? Just try to, if you like, I will show you the list again. Here are the communication skill, non-judgmental, empathy, genuine interest, self-reflection, self-awareness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 anyway. And then problem solving skill, rapport building, flexibility, multicultural competency, and sense of humor. Just opening my chat box also on one side.
Yeah, agree. These are very, very important aspects. And I think on the first one, like communication, it is not only what we say, but how we say that is so important. Tonality and the pitch and
there should be compatibility also. If you're doing online, it's different, but if you are doing face-to-face, physically, then your compatibility in your body language and the word you are communicating, 70 to 78% of the communication done through the body language is a non-verbal cue. Non-verbal cues are also very important. Much more. Many of the clients will dig out the information from your body language rather than what you are saying. That is a visual presentation become much more effective because visual have both the component, like PPT have both the component of the visual as well as the verbal. And another thing, never expect you will fall in frustration if you expect that whatever you said, the client will follow. Client will not follow whatever you said. May follow only 30, 40, 50%. Never 100%. Like the same way, you read the book, you read the book, you don't retain the 100% of the book, you retain 30, 40, 50% of the material. If you retain 30, 40, 50% of the material, enough, more than enough. So, out of the 10 competencies which I have just shared with you, what do you think? Maybe you can write on the chat box, you can say, how many of these qualities you think you have? As on today. Maybe just number 2, 1, 3, 5, 10. Do a little self-reflection, my 5th point.
You want us to write a number?
Just number, no need to write the call, just number. 5, 1, 6, 10, whatever you think.
Okay, I'm going to be kind to myself.
Yeah. 8, 9.
You show the previous slide again.
शिवी 10 के 10 लिख दो आप.
Retain these answers by you. This will be your future reflection. 8, Anyway. Okay, your written some people 8, some 9, fine, mostly 8 or 9. Okay. So you think I'm presuming you've done the honest evaluation yourself. As Arvind say, let me be honest to myself, give you, and be honest with yourself. And if you can rethink also, not now, maybe later on. And if you need, you can change this number also. But anyway, that's not important. Importantly, it means out of the 10 qualities, 8 or 7 or 9 quality you think you have. And I'm sure you must have identified also 1 quality or 2 quality or 3 quality, whatever, which you think you don't have. As on today, and you would like to develop over a period of time. Agreed? You don't have. You would like to develop over a period. Identify that quality right on the sheet of paper in front of you. So this is 1 quality, top quality in my mind, which I would work for next 3 months, 15 days, or whatever time, or 1 week, or 24 hours. I make that quality as my lifestyle. Automatically get reflected from my non-verbal.
So, Professor, basically what also happens is that I may think that I have the qualities. So the question is whether I have or I have not. So then that is that I have. But the moment the question changes to, do I have the proficiency in that quality, a high proficiency or not? The proficiency levels may be very different. So I may have a quality of, let's say, problem solving, but my proficiency level may not be that high. I'm just taking an example.
I agree. The degree of, whether is have to 1 degree. If I'm saying on a scale of 1 to 10, ladder of 1 to 10, I'm at a 3 point or 4 point, may not be having an 8 point or 9 point. That can vary also. But
right.
Next, that's my issue. I think you solve my problem, Next is for you to think, if you have these qualities, up to what level you have. Okay? At which level you would like to go. Okay? Which level? Like problem solving, Arvind said, at 5. Yes, I have to go to 8 now. I have to go to 9 now. Okay? So making an attempt. Today what we are doing, we are making an attempt to move forward to that point. Okay? And let me tell you, I'm more serious for that person, as a psychologist, the person who said, I have all 10 qualities, or all the 10 quality at a ladder of 1 to 10. If you say 1 to 10 ladder, you are giving me ranking ladder, or at 9 point. I'm much more concerned for that person, because it's very, very difficult for this person to sustain at that. Sustainability is a big issue. It's a big challenge for that person. That means he's not leaving any scope for progress, movement upward. He said, I've reached, like you must have seen, whenever if you saw any game, Commonwealth or Olympic, whatever, you the athlete who start running first, you invariably find that athlete lose. The athlete sometimes who started who are the 3rd or 4th or 5th number slowly will go up. Like in the childhood, I think we Indian must have read that slow and steady wins the race. कछुए वाली कहानी हमने पढ़ी थी ना. Is same way, sustaining is very difficult over there. That means you have to put an extraordinary effort, because if you are at that level, then expectation of the client will be from you of that level. So sustainability, we will discuss subsequently. We will have some more session. I will discuss on that. I think my point is clear up to this level. What I want to communicate, identify those 8, and then those 6, 7, 8 you have. Be honest with yourself because you're doing for self. You're not trying to impress on anyone. We are not trying to impress a case. You know how many quality I have. I don't. I have 2. I have 2. Okay, fine. But yes, I'm here to know what I don't have, which is required, so that I can work over a period to develop those qualities. Make some sense?
Yeah.
And then the ladder, you know, you have quality like I have the sense of humor. At 1 point, 2 point, 3 point on the ladder, 10 point, 9 point, whatever you can make. 7 point you can have is you can create a scale, your own scale, and see where it's there and where you need to be moved over there. Now, the very first important thing which each one, mainly the people who are at the initial call will be need to understand the helping relationship. Is perceived that your client should perceive that there is somebody have to unmute mute yourself, you know.
Professor, you can actually mute all, and then whoever has to talk can unmute.
Then you will not be in a position. I can do it, but then you will not be in a position to.
Yeah, Arvind, better we do it by ourselves.
Yeah, because then every time I have to go over
It is done. It is done. It is done. Okay.
So it's done. Yeah. Okay. So next important, the counseling is the helping relationship. Helping relationship. The formula I have developed is true AWG. That means the trust, respect, understanding, empathy. These 4 components will give acceptance, your acceptance as a counselor to the client, your warmth to the client, and your genuineness to the client. Genuineness is one of the quality I've shown in the essentials in the earlier slides also. So, helping relationship requires trust, respect, understanding, and empathy on the part of the counselor to be taken as you're accepting your client. There is acceptance of the client that I have been accepted by my counselor. Okay. So you should be very careful when you're making first call. Warmthness should reflect. And how this is done, and genuineness, it's not mechanically you're doing for the sake of business you are doing. That should not be the feeling. See, there's a genuineness approach on the part of my counselor to give me the feeling of acceptance and warmth. These 7 components will help you building up the helping a relationship between the counselee and counselor, your client and you. Then listening. Communication dynamics is a communication. You will say, it should be listening ability. Many of us do not have the listening ability. We keep on talking. And let me give you, I recollect in my career, you know, there was one student of mine in the department, the psychology department of Delhi University. He was very, very bright boy, very bright boy. But the problem is with him was he speaks a lot. He never allow other person to say his perspective or answer the question. If you put the question, make a long history before putting a question. He went to an interview in Calcutta University, and I knew the HOD over there. I just talked to him. I say, such as Mr. Basni is coming for an interview. He's a very bright boy. If you can pick this boy, select him as a lecturer. That time position used to be lecturer. Today is assistant professor. And actually, he said, no problem, sir. I will do it. So he's a good friend. I know once I told him, he will be done. What happened after the interview? He gave me message. He called me. He said, sorry, we could not appoint him. The boy is very bright, no doubt. I said, then why you could not appoint him? What happened? Is there any other candidate having some pressure coming from somewhere else? He said, no, there were no candidates with any such kind of pressure. We were keen, but the difficulty with this boy was that we discussed a lot. This boy never was not allowing us to put the question. Before we put even half the question, without doing what we are going to our next, he start jumping and answering and keep on giving us the answer. The answer was mostly right, but we find that this boy will not allow the student in the class to ask the question. Before the student will open the mouth at that season. And this happened for a very, very long time with him, this boy. He could not get the job. Ultimately, he joined such organization not as a lecturer at all. Because I also feel the same thing with him. So listening is a very important thing. Listening is a very important component of your communication skill. And there's a formula for listening. I'm giving 5-point formula. I'm giving you. Make it simple. We call it SOLAR. That is, S stands for face the client squarely. Adopt an open posture with your client. Lean towards the client. So, like, I'm with you. If I leave here or there, that means I'm not with my group, with my client. Lean towards the client. Maintain good eye contact. And try to be relatively relaxed. Got it? So face the client squarely, adopt an open posture with the client, lean towards the client, maintain good eye contact, try to be relatively relaxed. These 5 elements, they really help you to developing your listening ability, where you find there's a genuine interest will come in the mind of the client for the counselor. Okay. So helping relationship talk, our talk will listening. No, next will be listening, and then also require the questioning. Next would be my questioning. So questioning the client now. And you must be familiar. There are 2 types of questions. One is we call it open-ended question, other is we call it close-ended question. The open-ended question, where is you ask how your day today. That's the open-ended question. Close-ended question would be how your day today. Then I'm giving a good, very good, so. Okay, I'm giving 3 choices. I'll say good or negative. So I'm closing the question, like MCQ, multiple choice question, which is very common these days. Those are the example of a close-ended question, where options are given. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. It can be 5 also, sometimes. These close. So 2 types, open-ended and close-ended. Both type of questions having a advantage and disadvantage. I will just show you, but not spend much time on this. But the issue which so close-ended has advantage, easy for the client to answer. So quickly he can answer A, D, B, C. So the 4 options are there. Like your instrument, joiners capital instrument. This year we have close-ended question. There we have given them the liquor type choice, or we give them the situational choice over there in some of the questions. Yield information very quickly over there. Useful for clarifying information. These are the advantage, but it has disadvantage also. Restrict the client to brief answer, so he or she cannot go away. So keep the questioner in the control of the counselor. That's in your control. Make client feel interrogated. Okay, he or she can feel you are like a income tax officer or sales tax officer or intelligence bureau. You are questioning him, or like CBI person. May be perceived as advice or criticism. And similarly, open-ended having advantage. What is that? Explore client thoughts and feelings. Give client some control in the conversation. Convey your interest in and respect for the client. Provide information you may not think is relevant. It can provide that information also. Disadvantage may allow client to wonder or to avoid, may lead to serious, I don't know, I'm confused. That's the indication for you, the client telling you, please stop further. I'm confused. I don't know. If it's repeated again and again, disinterest has come or something. So question come, there are both types of questions are there in the questioning. Which one to be used? Both I've shown you are having advantage, and then I've shown you disadvantage also. Like of the close-ended, open-ended, I've shown you the advantage, I've shown you the disadvantage also. Which one should I employ? What do you think? Which one should be used? Both? Simple answer is saying both.
I think when we want to understand more about the client, then we should ask open-ended questions, because that allows the person to express whatever they want to express.
For my Arvindji, for my initial level, I'm initial first call, say for example, I'm doing it for my client. Should I start with the open-ended with him or close-ended? The subsequent session will be different. You know?
Yeah, initial call, probably close-ended will get you the next action quicker.
Yeah.
So one odd open-ended, but mostly closed-ended, but very carefully formulated questions. So it cannot be a yes and no. You know, it has to be very clearly formulated so that it gives him also a chance to branch out. The close-ended will get us to a decision faster.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Lahar, Nishta, anyone else would like to say anything?
I feel that an ideal way would be to begin with open-ended and then go on to the close-ended questions while you're nearing the end of the calls. So that way the rapport building takes place in the first few questions.
Person should start with the open-ended, then slowly will go, the concept should go to the close-ended after that. Okay?
So
that
yeah, for the initiation call.
Okay. And any other thought? I'm not evaluating any one of you. It's just that we are interacting. You know, I want everyone should be not to be passive with me. Apurva can say something. I just recollect the name of the person. She was there with us.
Yeah, even I feel probably at the start of the call, we can keep the things open-ended so that we can we can, develop a good rapport with the person. And then maybe later on, depending upon what we need to know, it can be kept close-ended, I suppose.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
The recommendations are opposite of what Lahar and Apurva you are saying. Always start with the close. Arvind, you were saying that's right. Always start with the close-ended question first. Otherwise, open-ended, it's taken as interrogation. You are putting pressure on the client to think. Okay. In that, and there's a large possibility he will reach to the stage of this last point of my I don't know, I'm confused, withdrawal symptom will come. So always start with the close-ended questions, and then slowly, even face-to-face session also, we recommend start with the close-ended questions. Giving the very framed responses, very standard responses of options should be clear. Not only agree, disagree, options should be very well defined options over there. And then slowly from there, you move to the open-ended. Like I'm asking you a question, do you think what time of the day we can have a meeting, morning, evening, afternoon? He said afternoon. Any specific reason for afternoon? I said, such as circumstances. to have in the afternoon. Now, what happened? I've asked, give the close-ended question. Then from the close-ended response, I move to the open-ended question. You got it? So
Okay.
questioning always start with the close-ended and slowly move to the open-ended, because because open-ended will give you one great advantage, that it will give you information which you never thought, never came to your mind. That is the great advantage. He or she will speak out his mind, which was not part of your. You never, as a counselor, it never came to your mind. Oh, let me check this perspective too. Okay, that's very essential. That you will see it
Yes.
works when I will go to the initial first call after 3-4 slides. It works very well over there. What time?
Okay.
Rakesh, why time is running so fast?
Yes, it's
It's
like that.
running so, there's so much to talk anyway. Let's see. So, okay, then another thing is the next point for the concept to identifying the strength of the everyone having strength. So identifying the strength of the your client, that is motivation, the client's level of desire to work towards attainment. You see, this is the capital and here to go. The motivation is him. That's how much motivation strength you need to evaluate him. Education transferable skills. What is the education level of transfer skills with the skills which can be transferable, academic, vocational, or experiential approach of the skill. Then sports system. You may have to see what kind of family circumstances he or she, what community he lives, and how he's influenced. That's very important. Support system will help you identifying timing, perception of how much time can be spent, because you give him some kind of task activity which require half an hour, 1 hour, but he don't have half an hour, 1 hour. So you must try to evaluate that. And decision making skill, comfort and experience with decision making. How comfortable he or she is in making decisions, So identify these 10, his motivation level, his or motivation level, the education transfer skill, the support system which he have, timing, availability of the timing, and decision making skills. Then identify the barriers of the client. Here I'm going a little faster because otherwise I will lose some more important issues. For instance, living expenses, transportation, driving, and using public transport, what mode the client's move. You're calling him in the office, or maybe he's coming for any kind of further discussion face to face, and look after the child care and elder care concerns of the client. He needs maybe having a small child at home, which he or she taking care, spending time, or elderly parents or grandparents at home, or sick grandparents or parents at home where he's taking care. So just take care of these needs also, and mental and physical issues, illness that affecting the self-esteem of work, that components also to be seen. So these are the barriers or important. The strength I've discussed for you, and
I think, Doctor, the strengths, play a very important role if a counselor is genuinely interested to bring about a change in the client.
So
and
you are right. That is the strength. Strengths are very important to identify. You must identify, but there are some barriers also. His mental, like physical conditions, are not okay, allowing him. Though there's a high motivation to do, but limitations, So you must know that what is applicable for one client may not be applicable for the another client, maybe not for the third client. Every clients are different in yourself. Okay. So identify both the components, and then keeping that will help you in forming your developing. Last, my point is developing goal setting, going goal. Now the goals will be ABCD of M. M means measurement. A stands for achievable. Goal should be achievable. Like you call it SMART goal, but in concept we call it a ABCD of measurement. That is believable. Goal should be believable. Something that the client believes. Not you. You believe he can do, but he don't believe it. Okay, it's not you. He or she doing that. So conceivable can be conceived, can be expressed in words. Nothing like, I hate generally that I have not taught Nisha Lehar, otherwise they would be knowing that. I used to hate, ask, my colleague used to ask the assignment of the student, oh, it's not up to the mark. I said, what is this nonsense? Right. What is required? Be specific, specific words. Then only that the growth you can understand. So your goal should be conceivable, they desirable, something that the client truly wants. What the client wants, that's important. So the goal should be achievable, believable, conceivable, and desirable, which will lead to the outcome that is measurable, can be worked towards in increment, step by step movement, it can be seen. So whatever the goal you develop for the client or work with the client, not your developing, it's in collaboration with the client. And those goals should be achievable, can be attained through the client's efforts, not by your efforts. Believable, that means keeping his strength and the weakness barriers in mind. Believable, something the client believes they can. Conceivable, can be expressed in words. Desirable, that client truly wants, and the work towards an incremental gain. So what we have done, we have just, I talked with you the characteristics, then I moved to the helping relationship, to the listening, then to the questioning, then understanding the strength and the barriers of your client, and that will help you in setting the goals of the clients. Now, first counseling session. First counseling session is a 4-step process. Step 1, positive greetings. And generally, this session is from 15 to 30 minutes, in fact. Okay, we have got 15, but I will say 15. It can 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 20 minutes. The dynamic immediately you stop the session. So you have to end the session in such a fashion that the interest you had created enough interest in the mind of the client to connect you again. Okay, it's same way you see the serial in the TV. You must have seen the serial. Some serial runs for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and people watch. TRP is very high. People watch because they leave the serial, end of the serial in such a fashion that you are hooked to see that. I'm trying to see that next time. Let me see what happens next time. So create that interest. So first step is positive greetings. Second step, assessment. Doing assessment. Third step, goal setting. Fourth step, treatment plan. Clear? Positive greeting, you know what positive greeting means. When you call the client, speak with them, language which he or she can understand, and talk to him by greeting, good morning, good day, how are the things, and asking him, is the right time to talk to you? If you are not in a meeting, we can fix some other time, just inquiring with him. And is it right time to talk? Are you comfortable to talk at this moment, or we can rearrange our call again back to you some other time? If he have already, say for example, on our platform, he had taken the call from us. This time he blocked the time himself. Then don't repeat that thing. Okay. In that case, just greet him, talk with him, and then assessment will start. Assessment will talking about step 2 is very important. We'll talk about cognition, his thinking, uncovering unproductive strengths, behavior, and physiology. The 4 components, In this, what you are doing, basically, you are giving more time, somewhere about 70% of time you are giving to your client to speak, and only 20 to 30% time you are keeping for you in the step number 2. Step number 2, that you are giving him or her the charge, the control of the things. Okay, he and she will take the control of things. And over here, by asking him have you seen the report? Or would you ready to discuss the report now? Or you have identified some component for the report and what you think about it? So that will tell you his or her level of cognition, of analyzing the things, going deeper into those components. Okay. And no, this I got it, but I was also interested to learn blah, blah, blah. So that is uncovering unproductive thoughts, thoughts which are there already, which you have not taken. That's also his future desires and how he acts, or he may have some kind of physical connection with that. Just talk with that. And once he completes the step number 2, which might take about, I would say, take about 5 to 7 minutes for that. And here your point will come. You summarize whatever he or she told to you. Jot down the point. If you can't, keep the point. You summarize the point. When you summarize the point, start with his positive strength. Talk with his strength. Which is great. This very few of the people can think up to that level. So you are encouraging him for that and analyzing his strength, and then speaking his concern. Your concerns are blah, 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 blah. All the concerns, whatever is coming, you're speaking all with those concerns. And then at the end, am I right? Or I may have missed something. I've just made a chart, is lying with me. These are the issues which you have discussed with me, you have shared with me. So there might be possible that something you may have missed. If you have not missed, anyway, you are getting basically the certification. You are getting authenticity of what you have analyzed about your clients. Okay. So understand from that perspective. Assessment means assessing his cognitive level, his unproductive thoughts, his behavior, how he or she is behaving, or sometimes I got so aggressive, I feel like I throw the glass, I throw the cheese, what my boss think about it, and it's really disgusting. So he's reflecting that behavior. So just trying to summarize that. That's the step number 2. Step number 3 is the goal setting. In goal setting, you're keeping in mind reflecting the emotions and thoughts, how he emotional and thoughts, and how these thoughts lead to his behavior actions. Okay, so the thought will lead to his actions, and outcome will be reflecting. Thoughts are inside, and the reflection which is reflecting outside, and others can see how it's affecting. Then treatment plan. Here you are very important. This you can do in the first session, but you can make a commitment, on the 3 points, helping identify realistic goals. We will work together. We will help you to identify the realistic goals which are conceivable, which are believable, which are measurable, which can be measurable. The goal which you have given. I will discuss with you. Collaborate in formation of the goals. So we will work together. I will work with you in the subsequent session. Because there are here you have to create an interest. So there are very, very important components. I think we need to sit together. We need to fix up another 2-3 sessions, or 5 sessions, which will help you to. So that means there's a desire you are creating in him or her. Here your mastery will be basically required, and identify the conceivable, achievable goals. So treatment plan, you're not giving plan, but you are giving commitment. We will form the plans accordingly, and then we will subsequently work on this plan. Okay. Now there are some guidelines, which I want to list for you people, for the counselor. Very important, though I've discussed on and off. Make homework assignments clearly.
Dr. Chadha, I want to just re-emphasize the point what you made on collaborative approach, wherein collaborative formation, where I think what you mentioned, that we have to leave the person with the desire to connect again. And I think here we have to paint the picture that if you are wanting to walk a mile, we can walk with you and we can help you collaborate and paint a picture, how he would be once those things are done, converting that into, through behavior change, etc., etc. I think this can be a very important piece for
this is
the
because
invitation.
here this will basically tell the effectiveness of our counselors, how effectively our counselors are in a position to reach to the mind of the clients, and the client will return back. Okay, returning back. So generally, I tell to my students, who are teachers, I say if some organization call you for a talk, and they say it's a great talk, everything. And when you find in the future they have not called you, but they called somebody else on the same issue, that means your talk was not up to that point. Means where you should have created that kind of image impression that they are forced to call you again. They feel like talking to you. So here the counselor will have to see, and then that is the reason I'm saying counselor after each these calls, after the initial call of 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, they have to reflect back, see where they went wrong. Maybe the KG over the period you have to develop a case conference. I think Nichal has to understand what I'm saying. Case conference means each our counselor will present the case. We will have a group meeting and they will present the case, and we will discuss the case, where we went okay, where we may not have gone right way. So what need to be changed? Why this client have not come back to me? That's a big question for me. If say for example I go to you and you are ready to give I say this is a questionnaire I'm making. Okay, can you fill up the questionnaire for me? And you fill up the questionnaire for me. I say this is not my achievement. If the KG was not interested, had no time for that, but then I motivate him to get interested and then not only fill my questionnaire, but help me to getting 10 more people. That is my achievement. So similarly over here, we will be looking, our counselor will also be looking only not for that client, but he will be also become instrumental to getting some more clients, bringing more in our network.
Right.
Making sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then some guidelines, quick guidelines for the counselor, that is make home assignment, what is you clearly relevant, should be relevant to the client. Collaborate. This will come subsequently. This is not the initial, this will come subsequently when we have session number 2, 3 with him. Collaborate with the client to formulating those assignments. Keep assignment manageable. These are guidelines for the counselor. Graduate the difficulty of the home assignment. Starting, we will not ask him to run for 2 miles a day. Maybe starting it's a 500 meters a day is more than enough. Okay, then slowly build up. Gradually increase the difficulty. First week, second week, third week, or first session, second session, gradually will increase the difficulty. Then make sure that the client has a written summary of any instructions. This is very important. Most of the clients you will find, it happened with us also. We also sit in the meeting and say, yes, 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 yes. Keep on giving, but the moment we are out from the room, half the things are gone. If it's written, if we are written on a sheet of paper, it's in the black and white, they will keep on giving us the reminder. These are the things. That is your KG. Whenever you hold the meeting, you ask the people to have a notebook in front of you. Why you ask the notebook? Because you want to note on the points which we are discussing. Okay. So begin home assignment. Once in the one of the assignment the client will be doing gradually, I will discuss when we go subsequently after the initial call. We will go to the subsequent session. We will have more meetings like this if you like. We can arrange. So one of the assignment will see how he or she is doing it. Anticipate difficulty in completing the home assignment. Like if you remember it when you were thinking, can we do in November? This I say let's increase it to December. But still, then like IT people know some problem. So always anticipate we said normally 20% of the time you always over or underestimation. If I fix up the time of the 26th January, if I can do on the 15th January, fine, I got a cushion time to rework on something else. But it's not that if it says 26th January, and if I can't do it, if I fix initiate 26th January, then I will go up to 31st January. So have some difficulty will come, some circumstance, your client circumstances may take him somewhere else, have somewhere else. Some issues can be which is not in your control, which is not his control also. Like this coronavirus came, many things were not in our control. Initially, I know most of us may not be IT people, but I think they were also. We were shattered, badly shattered. What happened? We just inside the locked how many days? But today when I talk with the people in Delhi, they say everything is okay. You know, we are moving. You know, everything is okay. Things are there, and we start correcting. For example, I was here, over here in USA, you're there, so we are correcting. You know, so we try to cope with this. You know, so emphasize learning. So the concept should try to see the learning, the process should come, not the content, not the at the end. So how he grow, you know, his emotional balance, his life success, how it helps him, you know, the process involved over there. That should be the emphasis. And the last point, show interest to the client so that the client, so every session, and when you end up the session, always the concept, kindly note down the 3 questions of mine, very standard question, which I always love. I've seen people work over here also. Ask the client, you're at the end, leave 2, 3, 4 minutes at the time of the, when your first call also, leave 2, 3 minutes, you know, this is termination. How they going to, can you tell me what we have done, why we have done, and how you are feeling now? What we have done, why we have done, how you are feeling now. Okay. So you are putting these questions to the client in last 3 minutes or 4 minutes before closing it, you know, and then let the client say what we have done. Last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever. Ma'am, sir, we have discussed blah, 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 because why we are discussing, why we are discussing. He will be sharing, and there might be some missing also. If he missed something, you are just reminding him. And then how you are feeling. If he says, I'm feeling confused, you should be happy. You should not be disturbed, you know. As a counselor, you know, sometimes our clients say, I'm disturbed, I'm confused. We thought, oh, something went wrong. No. That means the churning is going on over there. Okay? Yes. Here you attack. Yes, that's great. That's very good. That means you have been thinking about all the possibility permutation combination, and you work together in our. This is hot iron now. You hit it. No, we will catch up in our subsequent session. Great. So you are encouraging that feeling of him. From the negativity, you're bringing him to the positivity. Yes, from here we will build up. I can see great scope, great future to work together with you now. Okay? And indifferent, that's it. If you say that there's a possibility, the client will say, I'm thinking why you have discussed about this. Your last question, how you're feeling, you're asking feeling. It's churning done in the stomach, you know. You're not asking why we have done it. I think I have to still learn. I have to still go through the literature and read some more material. That means still in thinking. But you have to bring, you say, that's fine, that's great thing. But what's going inside? It's a shame, feeling of happiness, goodness. So you have to leave him somewhere at the feeling of goodness in your subsequent session, not that session. There are some unethical behavior also. Let me give very quickly. Violation of the confidentiality. That unethical behavior. This is standard international norms I'm giving you. Exceeding one's level of professional competency. You work up to that level of competency. Some clinical cases there, some clinical problems are there, schizophrenia, paranoid, neurotic problems are there. You as a counselor not handling, then we will be referring to our clinical psychologist in our counseling network that time. Okay, you are not over there. He had a problem with his leg bones. You know, his movements are there. You are not a doctor. You are not a orthopedic to handle it. So then we will be connecting with that person at that time. Okay, so that's meaning of treating one's level of competency, unethical behavior, negligent practice, unethical behavior, claiming expertise one does not have, process, imposing one's values, your values are your values, not to impose on your clients, you know. Here the international unethical behavior of a counselor, recognized, and then creating dependency. Yes, we are not to create dependency of the client, otherwise he or she may collapse the moment you leave. So dependency should not be there. So at a certain, making sure that there are 10 sessions or 5 sessions like this, we are holding it. After that, it's a stop it. Session will be stopped, you know, but your psychological termination will not be there. Psychologically, you will be remain connected with that client. Wellness Mandala will be connected with that week. If the client who was there 2 years back had taken session and grown over there, if after 2 years would like to connect to us, you know, so we are available to him. We can't say, no. Your last session was in the month of June 21. And this is December 21. No, please, you contact you over. That's contact is over. You not say, but you want to again get connected. There's one issue another. So there you are giving him other opportunity to. He might be bringing some more. He might be giving some idea. He might be sharing something, and maybe your own experience. We want to send you a video recording of that, and which can be help in our own moving further. So sexual activity with the client, I think you know that this is very, very serious issue, you know. Certain conflict of interest, questionable financial arrangements such as charging excessive to our fees, everything that is the KG, putting everything very clear on the platform so people should be aware. There's nothing like hidden charges and improper advertisement. Okay, the unethical behavior. And last, for my counselors, you know, some significant question to ask. This reflection for each one of you. After that, review the content of what happened during the counseling, you know. Then review the process of what's happening in the counseling. Going to re-emphasize the client's strengths which are evident. So that will give encouragement to the strengths which you find which are very evident for the positive, strong points in the client. Re-emphasize that to the clients. Evaluate what went well, what went poorly. Not all the things will go. There might be some not admitting to the client. This is your self-reflection on your explore things unsaid in the counseling, which are not said, but that is a case discussion become very important because something which I can't pick up as a counselor, which is unsaid over there, but my colleague can pick up and help us in taking next lead, you know. Discuss feeling related to the counseling relationships, that is how you're feeling now, last component, which I told you. Provide clear and direct. No, the next step to the, have I provided him, my client has not returned back. Maybe I have not provided him or her very clear, focused next step. And that's the reason he or she left him confused at this stage moving forward. So he said confused and I left it. No, yes, we are working on that. That's a positive sign. That means that the desire, the inclination to move further. So we will work on that from here onward. So these are the issues. I hope I will stop it over here and hope will start taking your more than 1 hour 40 minutes. I hope it will be helpful. And but anytime you can connect me through the KG, otherwise, you know, And we will hold some more sessions subsequently, taking up the real case into consideration.
Yes, Dr. Chadda, we'll align on that. Let me also introduce Mr. Ajay Poddar to you, Dr. Chadda, who's also our founder director of Wellness Mandala. And Ajay ji, are you there? You are muted. But nevertheless, it was a great session. And if any one of you have any points to say, welcome.
Lahad, you have a question. You are saying you have a question. Please go ahead.
So we discussed about the ethics. So, and the first one was a violation of confidentiality. But then do we also acknowledge places where we have to breach confidentiality in terms of, say, harm to self or others, and how do we decide when to do that?
That confidence you have to give to your clients, very essential, you know. The moment the client will come to know that, having a feeling that confidentiality will not be maintained, he will not open, she will not open. So you will maintain that confidentiality, but at the same time, you will tell, I will tell you in the session also, you will tell to the, I tell you in the session, everything information shared by you will be kept totally confidential with me, will not go anywhere. But I may be talking with my other co-counselors, but when I'm talking about the co-counselor, your name, your identity will not be revealed, because just to have a strength, that I will inform. It's not me, I'm taking decision. That means the team, there's a group of the people who are working with me, we are working together. I'm sharing. So, but without revealing the identity of the person.
Right.
You know? Okay.
My question is more specific about, say, if we're not dealing with suicide ideation right now, but it's more about in case a person presents harm to self. So then in that case,
in that case, we will refer that case to the suicide ideation to the experts, you know.
Yes.
Experts, you know.
Yes.
And we were like the general physician tell to the his patient, you know, no, you have to go to the specialist, heart specialist. I'm referring your name to the blah blah blah. Same way we will do over there. Right. Like I give the example, clinical psychology, CBT specialist, cognitive behavior therapy specialist. So I will be sending that to him to handle this case, you know.
Right.
Okay.
Sir, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Firstly, thanks for the wonderful session. Sir, you said about the identifying the strength of the client. So sometimes it happens during the call, the client is not that open-ended person. We are not able to identify him clearly. So how to manage that situation?
What you said, you cannot hear him properly? What you said? You cannot?
Sometimes we are not able to identify the strength. The person is not able to communicate that well. So it is difficult for us.
So you are encouraging, basically you have to encourage the client, you know. It's a great idea. Oh, you have I think you have a good to share, you know. And pick up his one or two things, you know. The moment you give him encouragement to him on that, then he will open. Oh, this never came to. I tell to with my clients also. Oh my God, I know the idea. It was there in my mind. I said no, it's a great idea to handle it. Last my 5-year experience, 10-year experience, it just never came to mind. I'm really thankful to you. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to encouraging him further, and then he opens up. You know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Nothing should, don't put anything which is threatening to him or her.
Yeah.
Okay. Session should not be threatening at all.
You have to make him realize his strength. Sometimes it happens, we have to make the person realize.
Most of the time it happens, you know, we have strength, most of us have a good strength, you know, but we are not, there's no one to encourage, you know. At times, you know, it happens with the parents always say, tum nakamme ho, tum kuch. So we start getting those kind of things, but those kind of words are not to be used in the counseling at all.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Very good. In that case, should we close now? And thank you so much, Dr. Chadda. It was
I
really
enjoy.
Dr.
I-
Chandra,
I
it's really good to learn from your experience. Great, thank you.
thank you. So very good points you have given. Thanks helping me, in my session. Great. We will continue.
Thank you so much.
and the recording link, if you can kindly share.
Yeah, I will just see.
Yeah, that will be great.
Right, right.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good day to
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Right, good
Bye.
night.
Thanks for including me. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Good night.
Really nice.
Thank you. Take care. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.